Oh, I couldn't agree more. I think that if Nesta and Lucien had stayed together, like it as Sarah intended, apparently, I think it would have solved a lot of the problems that the more critical side of this fandom has with the books. So if I'm remembering correctly, I'm kind of spitballing here. Sarah had mentioned that she had intended for Nesta and Lucien to end up together, but then as she was writing, she felt like that Nesta and Lucien would have been tearing at each other in a way that wasn't fun and wasn't healthy. To which I have to say, girly, the call is coming from inside the house. But she was essentially like, I don't know if this is going to work. But then she had Nesta and Cassian on the page together, and she just felt like they really sang on the page together. And then she just kind of committed to that. And then when Elaine fell out of the cauldron, she was like, oh, well, that's interesting. But I have to wonder, I feel like the characterization that we have of Lucien from ACOTAR 1, I feel like he wouldn't have been as mean to Nesta. I feel like he would have been very cutting, he would have been very witty, and it probably would have come off very mean. But I don't see Lucien having the same hangups about Nesta and about the way that Nesta kind of like initially dismisses Cassian. Like in Akamath, I don't see Lucien having the same hangups about that. And I think that that would really benefit their relationship going forward. I don't see Lucien taking Nesta's initial rejection of him like a personal slight the way that Cassian does. And then when Cassian does it, it's actually genuinely unfair because Nesta, I don't remember Nesta calling Cassian a bastard on page, but he's always taking like her silence and like her turning away from him as this indictment upon his character. Like, oh, like she thinks I'm like this, like, do nothing bastard. But like in reality, like she just wants to be left alone. And I think that Lucien would have given Nesta the space to eventually come to him because he's doing that with Elaine right now. Like, I truly think that if Nesta had fallen out of the cauldron and she'd been the one mated to Lucien, I think that Lucien would have been handling it much the same way that he's handling Elaine, which is not a bad way to handle it considering that Elaine really wants nothing to do with him. He would essentially give Nesta the space that Nesta is never provided for with Cassian. I think that this would have come together a lot more slowly, Nesta and Lucien, but it would have come together a lot more organically, and I would have a lot less of a problem with it. Honestly, does that fanfic exist? Does the fanfic exist of like Nesta falling out of the cauldron and her being mates with Lucien instead? Like, if that's not written already, I might have to do it. Oh my god, I'm 3 chapters away from ending my Neris fanfic, and my docket is full right now.